Hello, everybody, and welcome to Stellos Stadium in Nashua. It is a Thursday afternoon in early April, and it looks like it. We're about to have girls lacrosse, South hosting Central. John Collins along with Tom King.
I'm going to correct you on something already. It's mid-April. We are already at mid-April. It's the 15th.
Wow, it is.
It is.
It's tax day.
And it's still, no, it's not because tax day's been delayed.
They extended it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Right. I got to get you again
You're
now.
the fact
see?
checker, man.
I'm telling you.
Wow.
But I mean,
You're right. It's mid-April.
My point is it's mid-April and we're still freezing,
Yeah.
And we're supposed to have snow, a little bit of snow sprinkled in with the rain overnight. And the higher elevation is supposed to get more. So, but you know what?
Speaking of forecast, what do you got for the game?
I'll tell you. Hopefully there won't be as many inches of snow in some parts of the state and in western and in Massachusetts as there were goals for Nashua South when these two teams played. 17-0 was the score. So
2 nights ago, 2 afternoons ago?
2 days ago. So,
wow.
This, look, for South to do that says two things. A, they've come a long way, especially with not having, talking to Kiki McIntyre before the season. She said, we did what we could in the off season, but, a lot of kids do a lot more stuff. So the other thing is, Manchester, they still have a little ways to go in girls lacrosse. It's a specialty sport. It really is. I think, I hate to say it, but I think the way it works now is, especially with the year away, it's hurt the quality. So you're either really good or you're really bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not a lot in between. So, maybe there is a little bit. There's another level down. South hopes to be at that level. Right now, the two teams that look to me, 3 teams that look to me to be the best in Division 1 are BG, obviously, Pinkerton Academy, and I would put Bedford in there because Bedford knocked off Souhegan earlier this week. And they play again. They're supposed to play again later this week. So, Manchester Central, they've got a ways to go. They've got to develop their program, develop the sport. It's a tough sport, It's a tough sport to really kind of get the hang of and get to play. And the more you play it, the better you get.
17-0, South over Manchester Central at Central 2 days ago. And, of course, Central at least wants to get on the scoreboard for the first time this season here in Game 2. Tom and I were going to do a baseball game this afternoon, and it was rained out, obviously. I think
we were going to see
call.
What I thought was going to be a pretty good game. South Central week. They're playing each other in almost every sport. So it would have been a good game. I think Nashua South, they won yesterday. They beat Central 7-2 in Manchester. So, they pulled, I think that was the right score. So they pulled that one out. And, and we'll, it would have been a good game to see. It's going to be made up on May. It won't be made up this week. It'll be made up May 6th. So tomorrow, I think this is going to be the only sport that's played tomorrow, if at all, on turf fields. Because of the weather. So if you don't have a turf field and you've got a game, you're probably not going to play it. If you have a turf field and you have a lacrosse game, you probably will play it, but it's not going to be pretty. Weather is not going to be good.
Right. I imagine you could have played a turf baseball game today if you wanted to tough it out. But lacrosse always
John,
goes.
What about the mound and slippage? Those mounds aren't turf, they're dirt. So there would have been a lot, and around the bases and everything else. I think it would have been. I think it still would have been.
Well, they make I don't know how the fields in New Hampshire are, but there's a lot of turf fields in Massachusetts and elsewhere where they make the bases turf as well.
Oh, there's one out in Marlboro, right?
Yeah.
The facility in Marlboro that's used by a lot of colleges.
But the funny thing about that is when it does get wet, you can start your slide into a base about 45 feet from the back.
Right.
It's a slip and slide.
Yep.
So, but here we are. We're playing some girls lacrosse this afternoon.
It'll be interesting. Let's see what the weather factor is. It's not raining very hard. It's maybe a little light drizzle. Maybe sometimes it's not even raining at all. I think the heavier stuff is coming in later. But let's see exactly the speed of the game and how the slick turf affects that. And maybe that might cut down Nashua South's ability to put the ball in the net. But once they get it down there, they'll set up and we'll see. We'll see how it goes,
Yeah. if you can glance at the sidelines during the game, you'll see a yellow stripe, blue, red, and the white one for football. I suppose that would be soccer, field hockey, lacrosse, and,
Well, if
and
you
football,
look at
right?
if you look at the cones, the red is the out of bounds line, so everything is going to be right around there.
Okay.
So that's where if it goes out, then
That's
that's
blue,
how
yeah.
they do it. No, not the blue line, the red line. The red line because
The red line.
The red line. You look at the
Oh,
cones.
okay, yeah, you're right.
You look at the cones, and there you go.
Yeah, and down in front of us, those cones are just beyond the red
Yep.
line.
And
but-
we're underway. John Collins, I'll take about 10 minutes or so, and I'll be back well before the end of the first half.
So it is South immediately on the attack after the opening faceoff. 25-minute halves here in New Hampshire High School girls lacrosse. Central seeking their first goal of the season against their only opponent so far, South, who they hosted 2 days ago and came up empty on the scoreboard. Talking about the team in green, the little green of Manchester Central, who are finding themselves playing defense immediately here with South on the attack. Madeline Mataluski is number 4, and she passes it back to teammate Kylie Daw. Daw casually over to Ella Benzekri, and Benzekri feeds it to Solil Dubois. All the way around the perimeter, everybody gets a touch here for South. To the back of the cage, that was Olivia Johnson, and she hands it off to Caitlin West, and it's all the way back to where it started at Madeline Mataluski, who's at about 5 o'clock on the clock. If you've got 6 o'clock being Ella Benzekri and the goalkeeper being at 12. So around the clock we go as it's taking a couple of minutes off of the actual game clock. South picking their spot for their first shot attempt on goal. And now a cutter in the middle. Good advantageous shot and a save made by goaltender Lily Tagblow. Tagblow, it's Tague-Bleau. And Lily made a nice stop on that hard shot from the stick of Solil Dubois, who got herself into a very advantageous scoring position right in the middle before South was fouled. And they will have a restart with South having possession. They will elect to go around the perimeter once again. A couple players playing catch over there for South, including Solil Dubois, number 12, who passed it off. Now we have some movement. Dubois fake to the right. Now she's going to back it off. Ella Benzekri in traffic. A couple of cutters in the middle that were seeking a pass. This is a good shot and a goal. The first of the game, right in the middle, point blank. Really not much of a defense put up there on that surge from the left to the right by Maya Ryu, number 19, with her first goal here today. Probably the first of many if the score from 2 days ago is any indication, a 17-0 South victory at Central. Now, South is at home. If there's anything such as home field advantage in high school girls lacrosse, things could go from bad to worse for Central. Of course, they're hoping not. Central in green and South in their home whites with purple numerals. Far sideline, Kylie Daw gaining all kinds of ground on the Central defense. Trotting behind the goal is Olivia Johnson, unbothered. She's got a few teammates seeking a pass as they cut toward the net. Olivia couldn't see anybody wide open enough to try a pass. Now it's a cutter. Johnson has it, shot over the goal. It might have been deflected by Lily Tagblow, the goaltender for Central, doing her best to keep the score down. It has been a offensive attack by South. We've been just totally looking to our right since the game began. But Central gains possession. Now the tough part, trying to come out of their own end. The goaltender, Tagblow, actually launched it over the head of her defender, Samantha Asensio Vega. Samantha Vega really didn't have a shot to get to that ball. It was about 15 feet in the air. An errant pass from the goalie. Now South back on the attack. Out in front. Shot over the head and behind the neck. And a goal for Caitlin West. Styling on goal number 2 with the deception. She actually ran a step past net central and went over her right shoulder behind her neck and into the goal for a second score of the game for the Panthers, who lead this 2-0, 4 minutes and 11 seconds into the opening half. 2-0, South leads it. Central desperately in need of a faceoff win, can't get it. Ella Ben-Zekri wins the draw. Kylie Daw sprints forward. Loose ball just for a moment, scooped up by South. This is Solil Dubois making hay as she gets up to the 15 yards away. You can go by the South. The Stellos field markers. It is exactly the length of a football field. So when you're at the 10, such as Kylie Daw is right now, it's 10 yards away from the goalie plus the angle factored in, a few yards more. Ella Ben-Zekri backs it out. Solil Dubois. It's a good crew of attackers that South has here, producing tons of goals on Tuesday and hoping to do the same here today. They are on pace with 2 pretty quick goals here in the opening half. Dubois, Ben-Zekri with it. She hands it to Dubois. Solil doing a lot of the ball handling for South, along with Ben-Zekri, who has it now. She cuts to the right off the pick. Now we have movement by the forwards of South. As you can see, options for Olivia Johnson as she holds it. And a good job on defense played by Emma Favorita. Or perhaps it's just spelled as it sounds as it is, favorite, Favorite. Emma, number 11. She got her stick in the way and looked like she had stolen the ball, but South gets it right back. Unfortunately for Central, they have yet to foray out of their own end. They have not crossed the center line of the pitch yet with possession of the ball. And we are 6 minutes in. There's the hard shot and a goal. Olivia Johnson with goal number 3 for South. And that one unstoppable probably by even the best goaltenders in girls lacrosse, as that was just a rifle shot, top left corner. So unlike in basketball where a team scores and then you get possession automatically as the team that has been scored upon to bring the ball out of your own end, lacrosse is a different animal. You could have a player win you 10 draws in a row and it's just one offensive possession after another for your team. And that appears to be what South is on the verge of doing here, as they've won every draw since the game began, leading 3-0. 6 minutes and 8 seconds in, they win another one. Ben-Zekri does, and she gets it to Kylie Dawn. It's a formula for success so far for South, winning the draws at midfield and this going on the offensive attack. It has been all South on offense in this lacrosse match so far. Ella Ben-Zekri with it. Kylie Daw has it. Good movement without the ball by a few of the South players, giving the ball handler options. Madeline Madalewski dancing, looking for an opening. She's double teamed and backs away. A push foul is going to be called against Central. It is a tightly called game, as evidenced by that, and this is a very advantageous spot for Madeline Madalewski. She could just shoot it from right where she stands and have a shot to put South up 4-0 on the restart.
Yeah, they have the wrong score on the board, don't they?
I have 3.
You have 3?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought they had already scored 3.
And it was a couple of nice saves mixed in, but we have Olivia Johnson, Caitlin West, and Maya Ryu as your 3 goal scorers so far.
But the thing is Kiki McIntyre has yelled to them at first early in the game. She said, "Good patience," and they almost took that a little too literally, as they took their time a little bit too much. She wanted them to pick it up a little bit. because she knows that when they play the other teams at a higher level, they're going to need to. Look at that. Look at that penetration right there. An easy goal.
Ella Ben-Zekri, top left corner.
You can't miss on that shot. It was perfectly placed, but she was what, 4 feet away, 5 feet away?
Yeah, she's a freshman midfielder. She's up there playing with the attack people.
And that's great.
Just domination. You can tell by the long stick.
But that's how much the program has come along. You got a freshman in the starting lineup.
Yes.
Or in a lineup period, you know. So not that it started, but she's in the lineup and out there.
Just under 8 minutes gone in the game, and it is all South. 4-0, they lead it.
Also,
in a 50-minute contest, they're on pace to score a lot of goals.
Right, and there aren't a lot of reserves for either team.
You're right.
You know, the numbers are down.
There's about 5 for
and
Central.
I think in some sports and in some schools this spring,
5 for South.
The numbers are down all over the place. So I know they're down for baseball at Nashua North. We saw they didn't have a whole lot on the bench the other day. And Zach Harris commented to me on that in the preseason. He said, our numbers are down. Oh, what a shot.
Catch and shoot. Oh, what a play. Solil Dubois gets on the scoreboard, number 12, on the feed from Ella Ben-Zekri.
But see, look how
domination by South.
Look how open she was in the middle.
Yeah.
You know, and at this
point, you cannot leave a player standing by herself.
No, and at this point, if I'm Central, I use a timeout and get them back, you know, to regroup a little bit defensively because they're going to be on defense most of this game. It's going to be a very lonely day. Who's in goal for South?
It's either Kiera Walsh or Audrey Mullaney, both freshmen.
Yeah, I can't tell because of the number. I don't have the binoculars yet. So, but I mean, it's going to be a lonely day for the goaltenders. For the goaltender, either one of them.
I agree.
Very lonely day.
It is 53. Audrey Mullaney.
Yeah, I bet they'll put the other goal in at halftime.
She has not yet seen the ball come to her half of the field.
And you know what? She may not for a while.
Because
if at all.
Unlike in basketball, as I was saying, when the opponent scores, you get possession in your own end, you get to bring it out. In lacrosse, you could win every draw.
Right.
And so far, South has done that here on their home turf.
But you saw some of the fundamentals lacking in the game that Central has. They tried to clear the ball out, and one of the passes went errant from the goaltender over to the side. That ball should be shot. The goalie should take the ball and run up with it a little bit and then pass it ahead as they run down instead of backing into your own corner.
Yeah, that's lacrosse 101 basics, and if you can't master that, you got problems.
So they need to.
Yeah.
Central would have a tough time in any division they play right now, just because of the mastery of the game. But they ought to be.
Save made by Lily Tague Blow.
They ought to be a division down. You know, they really should be.
Yes.
But
now here it is. It's the key thing. Now Central has possession, and you got to watch the passing execution.
Well, you know, what you need to do is you need to run it up. Run the ball up.
And she just stood there and was taken away immediately after the restart. You're right. You cannot do that.
Cannot do that.
And that's just lacrosse IQ that a lot of these players are just learning it for the first time, right?
Exactly. I believe that a lot of these players are first-time players. They have to be.
Yeah, Coach King, we need to get the player at least on the restart. Just think of it like a 100-yard sprint. Just get the ball close to your body so it can't be knocked away and just take off, gain some ground, right?
Mm-hmm.
Instead, South steals it back, and they're looking for goal number 6. Ben-Zekri dancing. Oh, and the opportunity was there for Isabella Walsh.
It was and it wasn't. At least that time, 2 defenders closed in on her.
That's true.
Forced her. Limited her scope of vision and
it would have had to been a perfect shot.
It would have had to been an upper corner shot that would have been perfect.
And to get by the defenders, as you said, they were in the lane.
So that time they were there. They followed the movement.
Here comes a whole host of South players cutting.
That's a layup.
And a slam dunk or a layup. Vanessa
a layup.
Reeder for goal number 6. Another player with a long stick coming up to make what is in effect the Phil Esposito. From standing in front of the goaltender and slamming it in. Vanessa Reeder listed as a defenseman and a junior, and it almost seems as if they're trying to get a goal for everybody on the roster for South at this point.
Well,
It's the rich get richer.
I think what you want to do if you're Kiki McIntyre is you want everybody to handle the ball. You want them to get used to handling the ball.
Yep.
So that they know what to do with it. And they know where to go and how to move and everything else. I mean, if you've watched some of these games, and we made that note the other night with BG, with the give and goes and the one-timers, I mean, that's all practice. So a lot of these plays, they're set plays, and they're run in practice. And the other problem that teams in all sports have had, and we'll let this play out, and then I'll tell you after
Olivia Johnson.
Do we see what happens?
Hands it off. This is Caitlin West looking for a teammate in front. It
Gotta
bounces off
scoop that.
the goaltender. Ball's loose. Manchester defender has it, and a foul is called on South, I believe.
So, and now with the stoppage of play, what the problem that a lot of these teams have had, and I bet every coach will lament this after a game, they've only had 2 weeks.
Giveaway.
You know, they could not start practice until the 29th of March. So it's only been a couple of weeks for them in practice, and now this is the first day. Basically 2 weeks ago, 2.5 weeks ago is when they started. So you're going to see a lot of bad play early in the season, especially when you compound the fact they haven't played in 2 years. Now there have been off-season workouts, John. So they and there's indoor lacrosse leagues and things like that. So how many players are serious enough that they're doing that? But the open gyms are supposed to be the off-season workouts, and you're able to go, and lacrosse will take one corner of a gym, and baseball will take another corner of the gym, and that's how they try to space it out now because of COVID, but they did hold off-season workouts. They were legal, But look at this defense by South, not allowing her to run. And we get a call, and
so I'm learning as the game goes along too. If you're a player that has a ball and you try to bull your way through people that have position, it's sort of like the equivalent of a charge in basketball.
There's no contact allowed.
Right. So if they have position, you have to either go around them, run around them, or pass. You can't
run down the middle. Don't run to the sideline. Don't hem your space in. Run down the middle. That's a great job by South defensively.
The reluctance there to pass the ball, and then they just ganged up around her and nowhere to go. So you're right. She needs to run to daylight.
Yes,
the space.
Indeed.
There's plenty of it here at the Stellas Stadium Montefield turf, but Manchester South Central just has not been able to find the other half of the field as South continues to possess the ball. Now a loose ball scooped up by Central for a moment.
Yeah, but see, the ground balls, that's the other thing where they're going to be lacking. Look at this penetration
Mataluski,
right there.
Madeline with her bid to get her first goal of the game.
Wide open. See, that's the other thing that South can work on in this game is their shooting skills. Just don't forget, these games don't count really for much except morale because it's an open tournament.
Right.
So, and you're going to be playing out of your region.
COVID rules once again will apply
for the. We'll probably for the final time. We'll be interested to see what they do next fall.
Yes. And of course, the hope is to get back to normalcy someday, sometime. Olivia Johnson hands it off to Vanessa Reeder. She's got one of the 6 South goals Vanessa does as she passes it back to Olivia Johnson. Johnson has 1 goal as well. Maya Ryu started the scoring, the former basketball player for South, the senior who...
Well, it was fun watching that team play, wasn't it? I mean, they were, John Bourgeois just put everything in perspective about that class. When he said to me, he said, you know what? They had to deal with, I think it was 3 or 4 coaches in 5 years, and
talking about South basketball, right?
Yeah. And then in their senior year they had to deal with a pandemic. So that group had a lot of perseverance, and congratulations to them on what I thought was a great year for what they got. They had 10 regular season games. Here's a shot right there.
And a goal.
Yep. They had 10 regular season games, and they made the most of them. They made progress all through the season. and it was they were fun to watch, and they played BG, and that's a tough matchup, on that court, especially on the Caligula court.
Well said, Tom. Isabella Walsh gets her first goal of the game, and it's sharing the wealth, continuing for South as 7 goals and 7 different players on the score sheet.
9:57 left to play in the first half. So the half is kind of run down pretty quickly because it's all been at one end. But usually you'd think it would be the other way around because they'd be running back and forth. That's what makes the time go by.
Now, Tom, I just noticed an interesting thing on the left of your screen, or if you can pick them up, Tim. There's a bunch of players, forwards for Central, and talk about the goaltender being lonely. The attack people for Central and the defenders for South, they're moving around like you move your limbs to stay warm when you're cold and you haven't had any activity. On the other side, everybody's more than warmed up over here. The Central defenders
and our heads are trained now. Look to our right. They'll have to be trained to look to our left in the second half.
Right.
Just a kind of a raw, one of those bad spring days.
It's unfortunate that that's the turn of events, but there's just no offense being played by Central because, as Tom alluded to, it's the basics. It's running up the field, just gaining ground with the ball once you have it, and making those simple passes to maintain possession.
It's going to be a long year for them. It really is, But at least they're out there playing, and that's what everybody wanted for the spring. And there we go.
There we go. And you do have it.
Yep, right in the middle and right down the middle where there is room to run.
Sophia Leonard was able to get it done. She picked the ball up, ran across midfield.
It should be still Central ball, I believe, after that infraction. Don't know what it was.
And let the record show it happened 15 minutes into the game, the 25-minute half. We are at 9:30 or 9:27 right now, clock running. And Central finally gets a chance offensively. Sophia Leonard, who just ran the ball down the field, hands it off, and there's a missed pass for a moment. Scooping it up, Alyssa Bonilla.
Give and go, but
trying to go in the middle, and
but see, look, that just not the place to put it right there. You wanted to, and wanted to do it high, but they're just not skilled enough to make that connection.
Caitlin Harrington scooped up the loose ball, handed it to Soleil Dubois, and she ran about 60 yards down the field, 70 yards. That's how you do it. And just like that, South is setting up on offense right around the goal. The key run down the field by Sophia Leonard for Central for naught right now because Soleil Dubois matched it. And here we go looking to our right again with 8.5 minutes to go first half. South looking to add to their 7-0 lead.
See, look at the crisp movement. We'll see the difference.
Yes.
You have players who know the game a little bit, much more with South than you do with Central.
And, of course, the players that played basketball before, they know the importance of ball possession.
Possession and setting up and finding, open
making
spaces.
Good passes.
Yeah, exactly.
And there's plenty of overlap with hockey as
I
well.
like that little flip pass.
Yeah. We saw that behind the net goal by Caitlin West, Tom. The most style points for any of the 7 goals today.
Yep.
South threatening here to come up with goal number 8. Of course, if you break it down, their 17-0 win over this same Central team on Tuesday, that would average out to 8 goals a half.
Oh, there's a shot right here.
In front and kind of bounced it. I don't think she launched it quite as
I
she
wonder
wanted
if
to.
she wanted to bounce it. Sometimes a bounce is a way to go, that kind of a shot. But
that's another thing you have to practice.
Right.
Bounce shots.
But that was errant. It was a good shot. I wouldn't have bounced it. I would have given it a line drive. It probably would have gone in. It's 7:08 to play. The clock's still ticking here in the first half. 7-0 as you see on the scoreboard in favor of Nashua South over Manchester Central. The Panthers against the Little Green. Storied rivalry between the green and the purple over the years, especially dating back to the one high school in Nashua.
Right.
A lot of basketball battles, football battles, and championship games and things like that.
So Central's defender with the right idea there. She was on a sprint when she got slashed, and so they restart favored Central, but now the task is to make a few passes or to get the ball back over midfield. Another call goes their way. With it is Ellie Marr, midfielder for Central. Again, she's fouled as she makes her way across midfield. Central inching their way down the far sideline. Ellie Marr again. Oh, no, actually, I guess she made the infraction that time. The whistles are coming fast and furious. Apparently, it was a over-the-head infraction with the stick.
They're pointing towards South, so it looks like it's South's ball. So here we go.
Kind of teaching moment there by the official, I guess. And here come the Panthers once again. Kylie Daw, who's had a lot of touches, number 7, yet to get a goal. It's getting to that point where of the, let's say, was it 7, 8 attackers for South, it's unusual that somebody doesn't have a goal. Madison Berthiaume is in the game, number 5. Newly, I believe. Benzekri hands it off. And the feed into Benzekri.
What a reach.
No.
Almost.
She just held on to it. She didn't shoot it. I was surprised.
Yep, I know.
It was a completed pass from Olivia Johnson. That seemed to be
I think when she had to reach so high for it, she couldn't get, set to make the shot.
Yeah, I think she wasn't quite sure she had it.
Yeah, no, that could be too.
And
she did reach
kept on
very
running.
high for it.
Olivia Johnson, junior attack person, and she hands it off.
Yeah, Johnson's done a lot of quarterbacking in this half for them.
Setting a pick there, and the shot saved. Nicely done by Lily Tague-Blue.
Oh, yeah, great save. She read the play perfectly, and South didn't, change direction enough on that to really allow for the goal, allow for any kind of deception.
So another goaltender pass by Central goes awry, and they're not able to capitalize on that great save.
Central become a little bit more fundamental on defense right now.
Olivia Johnson hands it off. The cutter with the long stick.
Look at that. See, they prevent the cutter and a stick to the head. Johnson got it on the head.
Yeah, she's rubbing it now, I think.
Yeah, it was inadvertent, but
still hurts.
Sure does.
Yeah, so I don't know if that's a shot for her right from where she stands, because that's going to be pretty hard to stop.
Yeah, it should be a penalty and it should be a shot.
They're going to back her up a little bit, looks like.
Player comes off.
But still only about 8 yards from the goaltender.
Player comes off and is in the box. So it is a penalty. So here we go.
Olivia Johnson facing off with the goaltender, Lily Tague-Blue. Johnson shot, goal.
Yep. Panthers a man up. Got credit for the goal. The player, I believe, still has to stay in the box. It's not like hockey where they score and you can come out back onto the field. 3:34 to play, 8-0 to score in the first half.
And with those 2 goals that she has scored, Olivia Johnson will come to the sideline. Probably Kiki McIntyre wants to ask her how her head is, and she's checking
I would say have the trainer take a quick look. But
you might be right that she could be headed that way.
Let's see.
She's
Nope, she's
getting
water.
some water.
Yeah, that's it.
Shake it off is the old school thing.
Oh boy, I'll tell you.
So another draw at midfield, and Central is yet to win one. So let's see what happens here. 8-0. The Panthers lead with 3.5 minutes to go, and whistle. What do we have? So Central won the draw. They're going to take it away from them? No. It stands.
Good draw win by Central. They haven't won.
Yep.
That's the first time they've won one.
I believe that was Sophia Leonard on
Long
the win.
pass. That's not bad. Oh, and she drops it.
Brea Preston had it, but just for a moment, drops it. And right there to scoop it up was Bailey Carroll, number 22 on defense for the Panthers. Downfield, Caitlin West gaining all kinds of ground. Puts the brakes on now, 20 yards out. Being stick checked by Ava Demers, number 9, passes it to the middle. Madeline Mataluski, number 4. Inside, that would have been point blank shot for South.
Oh, nice scoop though.
And South gets it back in traffic.
Tried to shoot in traffic and the ball just came out.
There's a
little
body
push,
check.
Yeah, body check.
That's going to get called in this tightly called game. Foul against the Little Green, and here's
was that Bertha Hume who tried a shot in traffic, lost the ball, and got hit?
I believe
Number
she
5?
has a chance to shoot it with nobody between her and the goaltender right now. 2:10 to go. Restart. Shot.
Score.
Goal.
Yeah, they're gonna score off those restarts pretty easily.
Yeah, as Tom said, Madison Berthiaume gets her first goal of the game. That's number 9 overall for South. Only one player has scored twice, and that is Olivia Johnson. Another dominant performance by the Panthers. Let's see who they play next. I'm going to check it out.
Next week it might be, well, no, Alvern's in the other division, so I don't know if they're playing them or not.
It is going to be, let's see.
That might not be accurate on NHIAA.com. You don't know, but we'll see.
Oh, yeah. Well, they're supposed to play Keene at home on the 20th.
Okay.
Which is that next Tuesday?
I'm surprised Keene's going to travel.
Yeah, right. And then
at
Keene.
They did not do much travel in the fall or the winter.
It's Keene-Monadnock?
Monadnock.
Yeah, so.
Come on, John. How long have you been in New Hampshire? Monadnock?
Yeah. No, I knew.
Monadnock.
I didn't know that they collaborated with
them
on
there's
anything.
There's a lot of co-ops out there.
It's Monmouth Academy. Where are they from? I know we did one Monmouth Academy game at some point in my broadcast life. They're probably from Connecticut or something. Montessori. No, but that's where Mount Monadnock is. So.
Monadnock Regional.
Are they typically a Division III school or something?
Division 2 usually.
2?
Yep.
1 minute left exactly in the first half. And the question is, will South get to double digits before the whistle? They definitely have a great opportunity here in close. Whistle sounds, and who's it against? They're going to call it against Central. Another opportunity knocking for South to get to double digits on the restart with 48 seconds left to go.
Again, they've been almost perfect on restarts.
They have. Capitalizing on their chances. Cutting in from the left, shooting, scoring.
Again, you get right. You're able to get right in and make the play. And a lot of room. There's a lot of room when you're that close. The goalie's going to try to challenge a little bit. And it's tough for a goaltender to be able to time the stick to make that type of save. It's not like hockey where you can, see it and knock it. It's going to be in midair, and you've got to be able to try to catch it.
So, Ella Benzekri putting in her bid for most valuable player of the game because she's the one that's been winning all these draws at midfield, and she's now had 2 goals out of the 10 for South, and she wins another one.
Yeah, she does win another one, and down they come. I bet they will probably put one more up before the end of the half. See if I'm right.
Yep, 38 seconds is plenty of time they've shown for them to score when they have any kind of sense of urgency about it. Ella Benzekri took the ball from midfield and ran 60 yards
down.
with it.
There's 27 seconds left. They may just clock it down and go, well, no,
or not.
Shoot. There it
Goal.
is. Yep, no reason to clock it down, I guess. Just take it, and you get it.
Caitlin West pots one, and that took only less than 20 seconds, I think.
It was
Maybe,
It was 47 seconds left. Yeah, I think
27 seconds.
So now we got 15, and they're just running it right down. It's going by very fast on that clock.
2 goals for Olivia Johnson, 2 goals for Caitlin West, 2 goals for Ella Benzekri, also goals
this
for...
This will be the final play of the draw if they even get it off. And they do, and that'll do it. It's the end of the first half, everybody. John Collins We saw pretty much what we thought we'd see, an 11-0 game,
Yes.
based on what we saw the score the other day.
So the question remains, the element of suspense, can Central score their first goal of the season? We will find out in the second half. John Collins with Tom King. Our cameraman Tim O'Neill will be back with second half action from Stello Stadium after this break.
What are you talking about? Public service announcement? I thought this was a meeting for the Puppet Sculpture Association. What? Monday? Oh, man. Okay. All right. Wait. No. Okay. So, hey. Hi. This is Sid. This is Tim. This is Wise Watts. And I'm here checking out some of the great public sculptures in Nashua. And I wanted to tell you about a great at-home art workshop for kids of all ages that will be going on during April School Vacation Week. Starting April 22nd, origami piece crane kits will be available for pickup at the Picker Artists Building in the Nashua Mill Yard. Pick up at the Picker. Pick up at the Picker. Pick up at the Picker. It's both convenient and cute. It's been a really rough year for everyone. A lot of people have been sick, upset, lonely. So many kids have had to stay away from their friends, families, teachers, and a lot of people have had a lot of hard days. So the Nashua International Sculpture Symposium thought it would be nice to make a community art project to help people reconnect after a long winter and feel hopeful and inspired. What is the Nashua International Sculpture Symposium? International means involving 2 or more nations or countries, and symposium is a fancy word for meeting. Every year, a few very famous and talented artists are invited to come to Nashua to spend a few weeks and make some very big and impressive sculptures for our city. We have almost 40 sculptures hidden around the whole town. Have you seen any? Have you seen any? Have you seen any? Public sculptures are cool because unlike a museum, you can actually touch them and get up close to them. These origami cranes are also sculptures. They're little paper sculptures. Why do people fold them into cranes all the time? Senbazuru is a Japanese word that means 1,000 cranes. 1,000 cranes, that's a lot of paper. In Japan, cranes were traditionally considered to be a mystical animal and believed to live for 1,000 years. They are beautiful, strong, and loyal, so they are a symbol of good luck and good health. There is a legend that if a person folded 1,000 cranes, one paper crane for each year of the real crane's life, they would get a reward of good health or a wish granted. After World War II, there was a young girl named Sadeko Sasaki. She lived in Hiroshima and was a baby when the atomic bomb was dropped on her city. She became sick with leukemia when she was 12 and believed that if she folded 1,000 paper cranes, that she would get better. She wasn't able to finish her cranes, but her classmates and friends did. And they even made a sculpture of her in the center of their city. And every year, even now, kids from all over the world send thousands and thousands of paper cranes to her memorial. Her statue sits on top of a big bell, and the bell ringer is a golden origami crane. It represents the hope for world peace and a safe and healthy future for children all over the world. So, the Nashua International Sculpture Symposium wants kids of all ages to help us fold 1,000 paper cranes so that we can hang them. Stay tuned to the Nashua International Sculpture Symposium Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube channel, and watch for our instructional video on Access Nashua. You can read more about Sadeko and the 1,000 paper cranes on the Penguin Random House Elementary Education website or visit your local library.
Welcome back, everybody, to Stello Stadium in Nashua. John Collins along with Tom King. South leading Central 11-0 in high school girls lacrosse at the half. We are about to begin second half action with your game MVP so far, Ella Ben-Zekri, again taking the draw. I think she's won all but maybe 2 of these out of the draws at midfield. There's been at least a dozen. And now
I think Central won 1 draw.
that's interesting what just happened there.
Are they going to give it to Central automatically? Yeah, they are.
Yeah, something. I guess that's the
I-
official's authority
yeah.
on the redraw.
Yep, I guess so.
I don't know if she even committed a foul or was something just the.
Some kind of violation that gives Central the ball, and here we go. Start of the
Perhaps.
second half, and they lose the ball right away, but
illegal hit
Yep.
on Benzekri.
right. So Central will start again from the 35.
So here's something different. Central.
And we're
winning a
still
draw.
looking the same way. We're still looking to our right.
we are. We were looking to our right when
Central-
South was shooting this way, and now
Central in the green uniforms, everybody. Nashua South rather in the white with the purple numbers and letters and everything else.
this is Ellie Marr, number 14, who had it, and she gave it up to Zoe Demers, number 3. Try to throw it into the middle. It was a good idea.
Let's see if they get a shot right here.
Demers
Nope.
gets body checked, and that might be the
They may
best
give her-
opportunity to
they may
score for
give her a
Central.
restart right here. Let's see what happens.
Yes.
Yep, it's going to be a restart and a challenge here. This will be good.
Central has a chance to score here. They have not scored this season. They lost to South 17-0 Tuesday. Here we are on Thursday, trailing 11-0. Will Central be able to score on the restart? A chance to shoot right away on the goaltender. And if it's the second goaltender, it's Kira Walsh. Shot, save is made. And a great job by, I believe it's number 52, Kira Walsh, the goaltender for.
But, they whistled the play right there.
They
But
did.
I wonder if that ball had rolled in, what would have happened?
It's another chance
Good.
for
Get some practice on it.
Zoe Demers,
Good
number
practice
3.
for South in their goaltending.
Oh.
Oh, no.
Yep.
It's a shot from behind.
Right.
So they take it out from behind, and here we go.
Not quite a penalty
Got to
shot.
set up, but got to spread out. You see that, and the ball goes behind the net, and
Looks like they're going to award possession to
Nashua South.
South. And that's another thing that Central's players need to learn about getting close to the ball as it goes out of bounds. If you're closest to the ball when it goes out of bounds or closest to the end line, you maintain possession.
Right.
And you saw the awareness
Wow,
by
now
the
look at
South
that
defender.
difference. That long pass by the goaltender up the field.
And into the hands of the dangerous Ella Benzekri, who feeds it up ahead. Good pass. Caitlin West lost the handle. Now she scoops it up. She's got 2 goals in this game. Behind the head. Behind the neck.
Oh, what
double
a shot
behind the neck.
shot. I've
Olivia
never seen
Johnson.
that. I've covered lacrosse for so many years. I've never seen a shot like that. Unbelievable.
Well, we believe we saw Caitlin West score that way in the first half, but that was from distance. That would have been something else from Olivia Johnson from about 5 yards out.
I missed it in the first half. I missed that type
Yes.
of goal. The ball went in the net. I didn't see how.
Yeah,
Oh, there's a
Caitlin-
give and go right here.
And the shot.
Save.
You saw Caitlin West pass it to Olivia Johnson behind her neck
Yep.
before Olivia did the same thing on the shot. That's how Caitlin scored her first goal.
That's skill. That's practice.
Yeah, that is.
That's somebody who worked indoors during the winter. Here we go. Restart.
And I got to say, it's fun to watch,
It is.
especially when it pays off. Number 12 for South, Solil Dubois. In the middle with possession. What's she going to do with it? Exactly 10 yards away, plus a step. Launches, goal.
Score.
First goal of the second half belongs to the Panthers, and it is number 12 with number 12,
And-
Solil Dubois.
And they are doing running time, John. There is no stoppage on the clock.
Okay. Running time to begin the second half. There are now 4 players for Nashua High South that have 2 goals apiece. Olivia Johnson, Caitlin West, Ella Benzekri, and now Solil Dubois joins the club. Face off at midfield, and it is not Ella Benzekri this time, I don't believe. Maybe it is. I'm just judging by appearance. I thought Ella was a little bit taller, but see, we'll get a number on this. It is still Ella Benzekri. She was just in a Panther pose there. So it is another violation that goes Central's way on the draw, the opening draw of this next sequence. So Little Green still in the hunt for their first goal. knock it out of bounds. So here come the Panthers again. And a good long sprint by Ben Zekri, who specializes in that kind of thing. Sometimes winning the face-off and taking it right down behind the net, she has done on several occasions. Here's Olivia Johnson. Yeah, it'll be an interesting game when this South team goes up against the iron of the league, Tom. In the middle, shot and a goal. Going low with it was Kylie Dawn. She gets her first goal of the game to make it a 13-0 South advantage.
Yeah, and I think it'll be an interesting game when they face North.
Oh, yeah?
North, both teams won their season opener. North beat Merrimack.
Impressive.
I haven't seen that in a long time. So,
Yeah, good for them.
yeah, so that's I think North-South when they play, I think those games will be in mid-May. I mean, a month from now. They should be very interesting and a lot of fun to do.
That's the freshman, Madeline Mataluski, who gets a chance at the face-off at midfield. Number 4 for South. See how Madeline does. The future of the South Girls Lacrosse program on display here at Stellos. And she wins it. Gets it back over the head to Jenna Hamelin.
I always say, if I have a spring sport and I'm coaching, I'd like to get as many underclassmen on the roster as possible. And you know why? I think spring for seniors is the toughest season because their minds aren't completely on the sport. A lot of them. You know what I mean, John?
Yeah.
You know, seniors are tough to get, especially as you get
this time of year.
Yeah, especially as you get later into the season.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a lot of distractions. I remember back to my high school days. The spring was full of distractions.
Well, the spring is always full of distractions, but for a senior even more because it's your last time. Now the flip side of that is, well, they want to go out on a good note, and that's true. But there's so many distractions. You know. Making plans for next year, finalizing those, finalizing getting, making sure you get all your stuff straight with high school.
I saw a prom proposal after the game here the other day,
graduations,
Tom. When you were on the field covering, talking to the coaches, I'm walking, I see in one of those setups where they decorate a car and pop the question there in the parking lot at Stella's. There's a shot over the goal.
Over the goal. Maybe was that a pass or a shot? Was she looking for?
I think she was trying to score.
You
Caitlin
would think
Harrington,
so, right?
number 3.
But it went right to the player behind.
Caitlin listed as a senior defenseman, and she has one of those long sticks. And
I mean, I want my team, with seniors on it, no doubt about it. But because they're the most experienced. But I do want some underclassmen to get a lot of time so that they can.
Right.
They might be,
It's Madeline Mataluski dancing around defender Zoe Demers.
Oh, wide open. Look at that. Oh, just over.
Isabella Walsh bidding
wide
for her
open
second
shot,
goal.
And she had a wide open net, but missed
She did.
it. So what happened, John, when you left?
Oh, there was a car that was completely decorated. Will you go to the prom with me? And it said, before your Oregon, will you go to prom? It was, I guess, a Oregon-bound senior.
Yep.
That was being asked. It was probably a girls lacrosse player
probably,
from Bishop
they
Girton.
are. Yeah, they're going all over the country to play.
Yeah. Oregon is a big-time school, too, right? That's where Nike is out there, right?
Yep.
So and you mentioned the Stanford-bound senior.
Yeah, well, junior. Riley
bounces it home. Nicely done. There's a bounce goal on purpose. Meant to. And let me get the number of that player.
Is it 14, I thought?
She's wearing a helmet. She just stopped right on the 30. And it is number, I believe, 15.
That was one off, yep.
It is Morgan Preston, junior defender who gets on the scoring sheet.
She's a junior defender, but she's not in a defensive position now.
Not at all. No, she got a shorter stick, too. So she makes the best of it and bounced that one home. Past the Central goaltender. It is a 14-0 advantage now for South.
But that's an interesting thing because that BG girls lacrosse team, that's a situation where I don't think the distractions will be a factor as much because they're really motivated to go out. A lot of those seniors, they've been together for years on that team, missed a year ago, and I think they want to go out with a championship. I think they're focused. That was the focus in hockey. You could tell in hockey that was the way it was, girls hockey. So let's see what happens this spring. It'll be interesting. And we're looking to our right.
Yes, we are. This
Manchester Central.
Ellie Marr trying to work her way toward the goal. We have a whistle, and what's the call? Ellie Marr might be setting herself up for a shot on goal here. No, she's got a defender in her path. Oh, official sets it up so that it's a clear lane to the goaltender. Ellie Marr on the restart. Can't get the shot away.
Don't take advantage of that lane. So South with a good defense. They knock the ball out and whistle blows. And if you ask me, there's too many whistles going on right now. But
I agree. It was Zoe Demers battling for the loose ball.
I mean, when the
Central's
ball's
number
on the
3.
ground, they're going to battle for it.
Yeah.
And I think in this sport, they ought to be allowed to. All right, we got to get a restart, and Central's going to get the ball at the 15-yard line, but they won't charge. They try to get it inside, and it's intercepted.
Yeah, alertly by Bailey Carroll, number 22. Intercepted that pass in the danger zone.
Yep, clock ticking down. We're at 13:40 to play.
Gaining a lot of ground here. Bailey Carroll, great job. Bailey down the near sideline. She's body checked, and we'll get a restart there probably. Oh, she must have used her arm to clear out as she got called for it, and it's Central possession. So,
Oh, good battle. Man, I tell you.
they're not letting the girls play,
girls
as they say,
lacrosse
Tom.
is not supposed to be like field hockey with a lot of whistles. It's not supposed to be that bad.
Yeah, it's sort of totally subjective, of course, but
Right.
they're not allowing any contact in this, really.
We saw
Without
some
a
contact in the BG game the other
Certainly
night.
did.
Yeah.
Some bodies were hitting the turf,
Sure were.
and not all of them were called.
When we do a boys lacrosse game, we will see contact, and
Yeah.
it will be legal. It's a much different game.
And they do wear padding in boys lacrosse. You see the difference in the attire right away. This foul goes against the Little Green, so restart in favor of South. Running away from traffic is Caitlin Harrington.
Ooh, drops it.
Dropped it, and right there to pick it up, Central.
Almost as if there was a hole in the netting on her stick, wasn't it? I mean, just she was running, and she didn't even have the ball down or forward. It just dropped out.
Sophia Leonard, who's done the best with running with the ball today. She was the first Central player
Yeah,
to
she's
cross.
got some experience in dodging and making some moves around. You can tell she's handled the stick plenty of times.
Teammates need to pick up on that and copy what she's
Again,
doing.
it's tough, you know. If a lot of these kids haven't picked up a stick that often or playing for the first time, they only get 2 weeks.
Sophia Leonard lurking with possession there. Drops it
Nice
into
pass.
a teammate and shoots. Save is made, almost like it was
but
after
there
a
was a stoppage
whistle.
and play again.
Another
There
one.
was contact on that play.
Yeah.
Man, I'll tell you.
A lot of whistles.
Yeah,
I didn't see it again, what the foul was, but
which is a good thing that we have the running time. Referees are trying to position everybody. I've seen a lot of that this year, where they are talking to the players more about their positioning on the restarts and where they can restart from.
educating them as to the rules as we go along. It is game 2 of the 2021 spring season. Another foul call, this one against South. The restart will favor Central, with the player about 12 yards away from goaltender Kira Walsh. Freshman goaltenders for South, Kira Walsh and Audrey Mullaney, who played the first half, was mostly a lonely figure. Walsh getting more action here in half number 2. Central going to go back up top. Corianne Hogue, number 16, trying to make a run. She gets stick checked away. I thought they'd call that too, but they don't. And with it is Zoe Demers running around the perimeter. Zoe trying to launch a shot, never did get a good look. All the way around the cage. And the referee has his hand up. They're going to call a cross check. And an elbow. And a right elbow and something else. So, in other words, an infraction committed by South's defenders. He's going to back Demers about 10 yards away from the goal, back diagonal, as she comes out and tries to feed a teammate. Instead, it's a loose ball. Bailey Carroll stumbles over the loose ball and was pushed. So South has possession. Under 10 minutes to go now. We have crossed the threshold to more whistles than field hockey, I think, at this point.
Yeah, that's a little disturbing, isn't it? A
Yeah.
little bit, just the way they've had to keep blowing the whistles. Probably frustration on both sidelines because of it. 9 minutes exactly, and now we're under 9.
Bailey Carroll's going to hand this off to Kylie Daw. Kylie will go for a run. Near sideline, gaining about 30 yards, 40. And into Central territory. Kylie Daw got pushed, and that's another whistle. So going to put the offending player behind. Kylie has a chance to sprint further down the field, but she might be gassed at this point. She hands it off. This is Caitlin West looking for a hat trick. 4 players on South are looking for a hat trick at this point. Inside, good pass, save made by Lily Taiglo, the goaltender for Central. Squaring off point blank with the forward for South. A bobble by Jenna Hamelin, trying to regain it. And Central defender makes a fouls Hamelin. So she's got some free space to work with on the restart. Cuts to the right, being stick checked by Ellie Marr. Hamelin still has it, goes equal to the goal line, far side. Dancing around a defender, making her way to the middle. Shot backhanded it, and a save made in tight quarters by Lily Taiglo. Series of nice saves by the Central goalie, but that problem right there plagues Lily Taiglo, the goaltender for Central, just not able to make those crisp and accurate passes to come out of her own end. Fortunately, Central scoops up the loose ball, and they make their way across midfield. Stick check foul called against Madeline Madalewski. Restart favors Central with 7:10 to go in running time here in the second half, and South leading 14-0. Has all the appearances of a game that could end with the exact same score of 2 days ago when South defeated Central 17-0 up in Manchester. On the restart, Madeline Madalewski, who's had a lot of touches today and doesn't have a goal as yet, but there's still time remaining. Cutting to the middle of the field is Vanessa Reeder, looking for her second shot. Actually, she lost the handle as she went to shoot.
But she certainly was allowed to get in pretty close. Again, there's no contact, so you can't. The only thing you can do is try to stand in the lane and block the offensive player's lane.
Yes, and there's power numbers too. If you can get 2 players to stand in their path, usually
with sticks up.
With sticks up, you can draw a foul if they try to go by you or through you. And that's something that Central's defenders, of course, need to learn to do against these high-scoring teams. The loose ball skills are important, and also, of course, the crisp and accurate passing to get the ball away from danger, and then the whole thing about just running it down the field, gaining a lot of ground, will shift the course of the game quickly. The restart will favor South. Caitlin Harrington, number 3, has it about 15 yards away from goal as we have 5.5 minutes left to go in running time. Play resumes. Caitlin Harrington hands it off to Vanessa Reeder and gets it back from her. Caitlin looking to maybe shoot it, gets bumped, and the ball comes loose. Caitlin Harrington gets it back. Number 3 with it. Oh, it's in the middle. Excuse me. I lost track. And we got a cross-check on the shooter,
Yeah,
Jenna
they thought it was a
Hamlin.
goal, but the goal would probably be disallowed, I
Yeah,
believe,
it was
right?
right after the whistle. Jenna's saying, I'll just don't run the foul. I just scored. I'll take it.
Let's see the restart. Let's see if they're almost perfect on these restarts.
You're right. They score seemingly every time. Jenna Hamlin with a chance to get her first goal of this game. Number 16 for South with 4:30 left. Shoots. Save made.
Nice save.
Just catching it out of midair like a goalie's glove save in hockey.
Yeah, those are almost sometimes easier than the bounce shots where the goalie has to bring the stick down.
Yes, and that's why often you'll see players go to the bounce to avoid a nice catch like that.
But you asked the question at halftime, will Central score? And right now they've got 3:56 left to try to do it. For the first goal of the season.
Yeah.
And they have a chance right here with a restart.
And with it is Ellie Marr, who's threatened a few times. I think she needs to shoot as soon as she gets permission there at the whistle. Instead, she dances to the right, gets double teamed.
Double teamed and hemmed in. Another whistle. Oh, man, I'll tell you.
They're going to call it against
South.
South. Oh, so she's even closer now.
Free restart right from the...
This is just a free shot on goal.
Let's see.
If she'll take it.
She's number 14. And she goes in.
Save is made.
Save is made. Wow, you're not going to get a much better chance than that. The best chance I thought she had, John, was maybe the near corner, the right side.
I agree.
You know, and maybe a bounce shot.
Yeah, Kira Walsh seemed to be, if you're looking at the middle of the net, she was sort of set up to that far side.
Right.
Near side was there available. And Kira Walsh made a right leg save, I believe.
That may be their last opportunity with 2:37 left to play in the game and running time.
Madison Berthiaume, who's got one of the 14 goals for South, hands it off to Vanessa Reeder. Spin move, lost the handle before the shot. Loose ball in front. Central with it. Tricky pass doesn't go, and scooping it up, as Tom said, may not see the ball come out of the Central end for the rest of this game, which has only got 2 minutes and 5 seconds of running time left. There's a stick check. That's going to be called as well. And it is Jenna Hamlin who will have a chance as play resumes. Number 16 for South in their home whites. A mid-April Thursday afternoon here on the banks of the Nashua River. And the result looking much the same as it was 2 days ago in Manchester, as Central getting shut out and South bidding for goal number 15. Minute and a half to go. Central defender Emma Favorite got escorted into the corner and fouled, and so we have 1:14 left now. Emma to the sideline, gets rid of it. Loose ball. Olivia Johnson is right there to take it. She's going to hand it off. Olivia Johnson clearly altering her role consciously, giving other players a chance to shine here. Jenna Hamlin had it, and whistle sounds with 48 seconds left to go. Jenna Hamlin shoots it kind of casually, but it was after yet another whistle with 30 seconds left. Of running time, Tom. And the good news is you don't have to listen to any more whistles.
No.
20 seconds from now.
20 seconds, right, exactly. And if I'm South, I just basically...
I don't know how many whistles...
I run around. Just run around and end it.
I don't know how many reps you get with each
They
whistle,
may not
but
have
the
any
official
time.
may not
They're going
need
to
to
try
get a
one
new
more
one.
shot. Or they're going to run. They're going to run. They're going to run, and that's the way to do it. Just run it out. And there you go.
Phew.
I know.
Okay, so 14-0 the final. Unfortunately for Central, after 100 minutes of lacrosse to begin the season, they will continue to seek their first goal in their next contest. Meanwhile, South will go on to play Keene in a home-and-home series. For Tom King, I'm John Collins, thanking Tim O'Neill. The final score for the final time, South defeats Central 14-0. Good afternoon from Stello Stadium, everybody.